Hi, I'm Ashay. I'm an engineer by training and a storyteller by passion. I made this podcast to talk about data science, but no math, no equations, just intuitions behind data science. The episodes are not in any particular order, and you can just tune into any episode and listen to something related to data science. Let's get started. Recommendation systems are everywhere, especially in this digital age. With your every single interaction with the digital world, you will find a recommendation system. On any online shopping website, on a movie streaming app, or a music listening app, you will find recommendations of things you may like. Things you may like to shop, things you may like to watch, things you may like to listen. Even brick and mortar stores like Costco have recommendation systems in place where they decide which racks to exhibit when you enter the store. It's funny thing in Costco that if you like something, you should buy it because you may not find it later on the same rack. So why recommendation systems are important and how do you build them? So let me tell you a user story. So let's say I am a user with 50 songs in my playlist. I listen to some songs often and I don't listen to some songs that often. But there are 50 songs in my playlist. Now, obviously, there are not only 50 songs in the universe. There are trillions and trillions of songs and hundreds of songs getting released each day. And as an avid music listener, I would love to know if there are songs in the world, there are more songs in the world other than my 50 songs in my playlist that I may like. But the problem is, I don't have time or energy to go into the world and find songs that I may like. So I would love to have something or someone to fill my playlist with songs that I may like. And I would love to pay for such service. Now let's look at the other side of the coin from the business side, where you want to create a service to recommend songs to users, but those recommendations need to be relevant. So you want to build a service with relevant recommendations to the users. And this keyword here is relevant. How relevant your recommendations are is going to decide whether the user is going to stay or and keep paying for your service. How do you build this recommendation system of relevant songs or relevant items? You build it with data. And this data for building recommendation systems comes in two flavors. One is user item interaction data. For example, in this song's example, how many times users have played a particular song? That's an interaction data. Or what is the rating a user has given to a song? That's another type of interaction data. This data does not talk anything about what is the genre of the song or what the user likes. This only talks about what is the interaction between the user and the song. So that's one type of data. It's called interaction data. Another type of data could be the content data or the features of users and items data. For example, Ashay likes rock music and U2 is a rock band which creates songs that are in the rock genre. So Ashay liking rock music is a feature of the user Ashay, and songs made by U2 are rock songs is a characteristic of those songs or items. And because this feature of the user and the characteristic of songs are matching, you can create a recommendation system where you can recommend U2 songs to Ashay. Now keep in mind the interaction between Ashay and previous U2 songs is not taken into account in creating this recommendation system here. The only things that are taken into account are the features of users and characteristics of items which are songs. So these features and characteristics, these features of users and characteristics of items are called content. And the recommendation system we build with this data is called content-based recommendation system. So what you need to build a recommendation system is basically a set of users, a set of items, and interaction data between those two, and or the content data of users and items. So we'll talk about various methods of creating a recommendation system using these two types of data in other episodes. And we'll also talk about extending these methods into other areas such as causal inference and synthetic control in the other episodes of this podcast. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in. I made this podcast to talk about intuitions behind data science. And we'll talk about some other idea in the next episode. There will be no math, no equations, just intuitions behind data science. See you soon.